Good evening. I'm Jay Sikand, the intern at Lexis and Company, and today I will be sharing an insight on a topic which is the hour of the need. That is, does India need Advocates Protection Act or not? So, starting with the introduction first. In a recent interview with a news agency, which I recall, Mr. Rajiv Dhawan, a senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India, told how he was assaulted and intimidated while he was acting as the counsel for the appellant of Babri Masjid case. Advocates all around the country are seen as the preserver of legal system and are considered to be an integral part of judicial system. They are the voices who play a major role in the reformation of the judiciary and the society at large. Yet, at several instances take place all over the nation which involves physical violence on advocates. While most of such acts of violence emerge from the cases which the lawyers take up, there are no explicit provisions in law to protect them against these heinous acts. This results in a situation where lawyers fear taking up these cases and which can risk their lives, or cases which involve parties such as terrorists, rapists, and some types of criminals who we cannot even recall, who receives uncontrolled anger from the society. Although there are provisions for free legal aid in the legal system of our country, however, it should not be a situation where every other such party has to apply to this provision, as there would be no lawyer who could take up the cases voluntarily. Above all, it is a paramount of the state to ensure that the bar council of every person enrolled in it should work fearlessly, as this would protect the functioning of the legal system of nation. A few states such as Madhya Pradesh had given their approval for such an act, but none of that have been completed. The implementation could not have been completed. So I want to analyze on the need for such an legislation specifically for the advocates and its implementation in the present legal system of India. So, is the state under a moral obligation and act? What are the essential for such an act? So, instances of violence against advocates resulting from the suits of any other work related to their practice on the rise, it's important to understand that a suit may involve mental stress to the people engaged in it, or other person who could be affected by its outcome, further paving the way for the misdirected anger towards the council. Therefore, it can be logically concluded that the quantum of risk involved in the profession of their job is immense. We cannot even describe it. The fear from the risk of involved to their lives, the mental stress which arises from this, and the probability of their families being affected from the risk compels up the advocates to refuse taking up a risky case. Now, this results in a situation where certain type of parties such as terrorists, rapists, victims of crimes fails to get a lawyer who would take up their case willingly. It also demotivates newcomers to the profession from taking up such causes, which seeks reformation in the society. The strong lobbies around the spare cast a shadow of fear upon the profession, which is considered to be one of the most noble amongst others. So, in the recent R. Muthu Krishnan versus Registrar of High Court of Judicate of Madras, the case emphasized upon the importance of the bar, as the legal profession cannot be equated with any other traditional professions. Why? Because it is not commercial in nature and it is a noble one, considering the nature of duties to be performed, its impact on the society. The independence of such bar and autonomy of the bar council has been ensured statutorily in order to preserve the very democracy itself and to ensure the judiciary remains strong. Where bar has not performed the duty, the independently and become sycophant, that ultimately results in the denigrating of the judicial system and judiciary itself. So there cannot be an existence of a strong judicial system without an independent bar. So the recent case of S. Balasubramaniam case of 2018, it is also of the similar view, though the subject matter of the case is different from the subject matter which is discussed by me. However, this view was one of the obiter dicta of the judgment. Further, R. Muthukrishnan also observed that the bar is an integral part of judicial administration. While the proper functioning of the judicial system is an important facet for an administration to work upon a population smoothly, it forms an obligation upon the state to ensure the judiciary is functioning effectively and efficiently. Now, this independence not only stems from the separation of other organs of the government but also fosters by the protection from such acts which try to misguide an advocate's conduct in a suit. This calls for the state to take proper measures by way of legislation, ordinances, or other mechanisms which are available to the government for the protection of legal practitioners. A legislation in this regard would be an umbrella legislation which would apply to all state bar councils and the Bar Council of India. Such a legislation should include provisions for stricter punishment for the acts concerned and should also ensure safety in the stakeholders involved. It is also to be noted that an important and we can understand that the scope of protection from the legislation should extend to only those situations where the disputes arises from the suit or other tasks related to the practice of advocates. Protection from other acts which do not have any nexus with the practice of advocate should be governed by IPC and the CRPC. So the basic reason for this contention is that the purpose of this legislation is to protect the advocates, thereby further fostering the proper functioning of the judicial system. Any personal disputes of criminal nature which has no relation with the profession or practice of an advocate is not relevant to the ambit of this bill. So it is primary for any lawyer seeking relief through this legislation to establish that the dispute in question is linked to his or her practice in the screening should be performed judicially and to prevent misuse. Furthermore, this bill should also cover maintenance and protection of their families from these acts, as it also seen that the lives of such families of advocates are also put under high threats in situation. The suggestion provided by me that legislation are not rigid in their approach but only extend to provide a general idea what can be essential areas by this bill should cover. Its specific provision for its proper implementation should only be drafted by the persons having the technology and know the technical know-how associated with it. So, recently the United Nations resolution adopted in June 2017 in the 35th session of the Human Rights Council is for the protection and independence of the judges, lawyers, prosecutors and other court officials who are dealing with the issues of human rights. Emphasizing upon frequent attacks on the independence of lawyers by the use of violence, this resolution enacts and provisions which would help in reducing this condition where they are subjected to violence. One of the significant provisions in this resolution calls for a proper training of judges, lawyers, and other practitioners. So it would, in a way help this reduction of such acts by reducing the probability of violent disputes arising from a suit. Lack of misinformation comes in the form of major reasons for such violent acts, and hence this is a significant provision in the field that which would help imparting knowledge and reducing misinformation. Though this resolution specifically pertains to the domain of human right, however, it would be judicious to adopt this provision for conducting a proper legal training for advocates in a legislation which is meant to protect advocates. I understand that an Indian litigation court involves a variety of cases from full detailed training to all the subject matter, which is not possible due to the paucity of time and other reasons. However, a proper legal training provided a basic understanding of this common subject matters to the advocates can mitigate such possibilities of creation of such disputes, especially in the district courts, which deals with a large part of cases in India. And at basic stage, though it is a fact that advocates already have a legal training prior to practicing by a way of completing his or her law degree, this particular training should also focus on practical aspects of profession rather than giving theoretical knowledge. So, at last, I would like to conclude by saying that this part, which I spoke about, has conclusively proven that there is an urgent need to enact legislation which should be capable of providing protection to the advocates from the acts of violence resulting from the practice and act as barriers shielding their independence from the attacks on it. So, at last, I would like to thank you and end this here. Thank you.